Hey guys, Jeffrey Leon. Welcome to my YouTube channel dedicated to the advancement of Christian theology, explicating the mark of the beast. May God bless the reading of His holy word. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit real quickly about the harlot depicted in Revelation 17, 1 through 6. For it is written, "And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration." We know that this is the great harlot movement and body of believers that actually are warring against God. They're no longer people that can receive of God's presence and of God's love. And so it's a condemned body of people that claim to be have the righteous, to bear the righteous banner of Christ, but actually they've become, their works and their thoughts have and their lusts have turned them away from God in perpetuity. And we know that the people, we know that oops, wrong page. In this passage, it depicts specifically that her thoughts have become toxic with satanic power. And that's why the last verse 6, it says, "And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, wondered with great admiration." This is not because she's killing saints outright. This is because she's killing souls. She's killing souls, and people's blood, which represents the life is in the blood, the life of God's Holy Spirit in a human being. Her thoughts have become so toxic. She's no longer. We know that the passage says that she blasphemes God. She tells lies against the truth and the power and the glory of God, and she fornicates with the world. And this is why she's become unacceptable to God. And it's an entire conglomeration. This is the conglomeration of the goats and the tares. This is the people that receive the mark of the beast and the seal of Satan. So that's why it depicts that she's actually drunk with the blood of the saints. It's not because she's actually killing saints. It's because she's killing souls, right? We know Jeremiah 25:33 says, "And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground." And that's symbolic. The stink of their rotting corpses comes up because their thoughts and their affections and the sacrifice of their lives is not acceptable to God. It's no more of use to God because they can't receive love anymore. They can't receive His presence anymore. So God calls their rotting corpses, when they're destroyed with the spirit of His mouth and the brightness of His coming, as is depicted in 2 Thessalonians 2. They're at war against God, and they actually except those days should be shortened, there should no be flesh should be saved. So she will, given the capacity, she will destroy herself and everybody around her because she's totally consumed by satanic power. But God says that in Matthew 24 that He's going to shorten the days so that because Satan would kill everybody. He'd just kill he doesn't. I mean, it's like, they're all serial killers. They've got 666 on their foreheads. It's like somebody that walks into Walmart and just has a shooting spree. They're psychotic, satanic killers, and they're dead souls. They can't receive the love of God, right? And the only thing that keeps them in line is fear of civil and criminal penalty in their flesh. So the beast that's depicted in Revelation 17:1-6 is this is the entire magnitude of satanic power in a human being's life. And Revelation 13:18 says, "Here is wisdom. Let him hath the number. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666." And so that's how they receive their seal. They receive their seal from the children of Satan, and they receive his seal because they can no longer receive the love and the seal of God. So it's also depicted here in Isaiah 14:12-17. It says, I'm not in Isaiah. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend to above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit." We see here the natural manifestation of satanic ascension in the heart is actually to control satanically creation. It's a natural inclination of people that have crowned Satan in their heart is to control the population satanically. It's satanic administrative control over all flesh. Once a person's crowned by Satan, that's what they want to do. They want to go out and subjugate other people satanically. So that's what we see here. We see first Satan ascends in the heart, and then he ascends in a whole body, which is this depicted in Revelation 17:1-6, and then he ascends the very throne room of the very throne, as depicted in Isaiah 47:1-3 of the earth, because he sealed his children. And it's like a vote. There's not going to be a vote. They've already voted. He's sealed in the hearts. It's like a politician winning a vote without ever even having to go through the process of it's automatic. And when he appears, there's not going to be a vote. He's just going to ascend immediately to the throne once he's sealed in the hearts of all his children. And it says, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit." This is how we know he's definitely coming. He's coming. This is the pit. This is the bottomless pit. There's no amount of, we can just keep burying people. And we cremate them, and then go out, put them in the field, and grow crops. There's no amount of the dead. It's endless, So, "They that see thee shall never look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, and did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?" Here we see that once they're sealed in the heart, and as Satan ascends the throne, then God gives them cognizance. They become cognizant, and they look at him because they've been looking at him. And this is actually, we're commanded not to look at him. And this is just a way, everything comes through the lust of flesh, the lust of eyes, and the pride of life. And it's satanic power, And so God gives them cognizance, a little bit of light, just enough of light to know they're going to look right after they've been sealed and they're condemned. They're going to look at him, and they're going to start getting suspicious and wise. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and say, Is this the man? They're gonna start wondering, is this the person that's brought all this destruction in our lives and into our worlds, and has removed the love of God from our hearts? So it's just going to be terrible. It's horrible. What these people are, the people that worship Satan are just capable of terrible things. So, but the transformation of the operational power, we know that Revelation 17:1-6, it's the transformation of the operational power of God into servants of Satan, sealed by the seed or the crown of the Satan in their hearts. And this is why they go into lack of the Revelation 17:5, and upon her forehead was a mystery, Babylon the great, and mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All that bad stuff, all this wickedness here, she's the one. This is what actually, this is the power that seals everything. It seals the entire magnitude of satanic power within a human being. But God constrains that power, because if He didn't, then all these people would conglomerate together and they'd kill everybody. There's with nuclear weapons, everybody here would die. They'd kill everybody on the planet. Satan would, if Satan had the chance, he would kill everybody. And but God holds that power back. And so it is written, Revelation 17:5, upon her forehead was a name written, mystery, Babylon the great, and mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Thus she loses cognizance of Holy Father God's indwelt presence. And this is again depicted in Ezekiel 7:25 through 27. It says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and the counsel from the ancients. They, once you're not, you can't receive of God's indwelt presence. You can't have, there's no transformation of godly wisdom into your soul. There's no filling of the fullness of godly wisdom and grace. There's no transfer of the glory and grace of God. They're just, you can't be filled with godly wisdom. You're just filled with the lust of flesh, yes, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. So and it is written in Romans 7:12 through 14, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, just, and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? God forbid sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good. So all they have working in them is death. They don't have, the law is God, the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. It's no longer in there. It's no longer in there, and there's no longer mercy and grace. We know that for by grace are you saved through faith, and not of yourself. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. So that there's no more operational transforming power of an all-knowing, all-loving, and all omniscient God. It's just, they're just bereft, dead souls. They're just temporal, getting ready to be destroyed. So John 14:21, he that hath my commandments loveth me, and he that loveth me shall love to my Father, and I will come unto him and manifest myself to him. So we know Exodus 21 through 17 is actually the constitution of Christianity, and we know the mark of the beast is depicted in Revelation 13:15 through 18, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and would cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So here's this work here again. They actually, to force everybody into satanic captivity and into satanic administrative control, so they can fulfill their own lusts. Here it is. Here again. Here they actually. What was the passion? If you won't yield to their satanic power, they're going to kill you. And that's part, because the law, the commandments of God are not, if you break one, you've broken them all. And because to try to force people into a relationship with God is totally contrary to godly power. Revelation 3:20, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice, I will open the door and come in to him and sup with him and he with me. You can't force your way in. To write laws to try to force people into a relationship with God, into a Christian relationship with God, is totally foreign to godly power. That's why we have the United States Constitution, the First Amendment, barring the United States government from writing laws in respect to religion, because the forefathers knew. They just came out of the Dark Ages, and they knew from what had taken place with the first incarnation of the beast from 538 to 1798 during the Middle Ages, and the time of spiritual, intellectual, moral decay, where men did not receive any enlightenment for God, where the beast ruled the world and did all the terrible works that she did to the saints. That's just a foretaste of what's coming. That's a facsimile. That's an exact replica of what's coming to modern man, and the Bible describes this as being held captive to Babylon. So and that's depicted, that what's coming is depicted in Revelation 13:11 through 18, and which is actually the crowning of Satan as king in the hearts of all flesh. So this transformation is depicted also into servants of Satan. Romans 6:16, know you not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, as servants you are to obey, whether sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. Sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness, that is a dichotomy. So, but it's depicted in Isaiah 8:20 through 22, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And they shall pass through it hardly bestead and hungry. There's no nourishment for their souls. God is not talking to them. Ezekiel 7 makes it very clear, the law of God's not in their heart. They don't have, the love of God is not in their heart, right? He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And faith, for by grace are you saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is the gifts of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. So here we have this here again. It says that they pass through hungry, and it's a spiritual hunger. It's like a famine depicted in Matthew 24, a famine for hearing the word of the God, and from understanding, and from love flourishing in your heart. So the fruit of the Spirit is there, Galatians 5:22 and 23. And they shall pass through it hardly bestead and hungry, and it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward. They're not going to know. They're just totally baffled. Spiritually, they don't know what's going on. God has darkened their minds, because, it'd be like, the ship sinking, total chaos. If a bunch of sinners know that they're going to die, it could be terrible. It'd be like a bunch of animals, put a bunch of wild animals in a cage and have them all attack and rip each other to shreds, until God takes that cognizance from them, they do know eventually they know at the very last he's coming to punish them, and it's going to be very severe. But while we're passing through it, they're not going to know. God takes the cognizance from them, because it'll be just like a cage of wild animals that just, you put a bunch of Tasmanian devils, male Tasmanian devils in a cage with one female, and you'll just have a bloodbath. So, I think that's part of the reason that God takes that cognizance from them. And they shall curse their king and their God, but they're tormented, and they know it. Eventually they turn on, they look on him and they say, hey, are you doing this? We think you're the one, you're the reason. We've crowned you king of the world, and now we think you're the Antichrist. So, and they shall look unto the earth, behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. This is just symbolic of the fact that God takes the cognizance of their impending destruction from them, until it just be horrible, because they'd kill everybody. Satan will kill everybody on the planet if he got a chance. There is nothing more powerful than the truth. John 14:6, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Manifested with the clarification of experience. And that's why Jesus said in John 16:4, but these things have I told unto you, that when the time come, you may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you. So that's the Revelation 17:1 through 6 is the great mother harlot. It's the satanic administrative control over all flesh in the world that tries to pull everybody out of a relationship. It's actually it's not just the people that have ignored God all their life. It's the transformation of the operational power of God in people that claim to bear the righteous standard of a holy God. So and remember, you can come to the throne room of God and receive your healing directly. For it is written, and the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, By hearing ye shall hear, and not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For these people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. If you're edified by this lesson, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications of future installments. Thank you so much.